Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle.
Hello, I'm Fiona Bruce and welcome to
the Chuck Tingle Book Club.
Oh, yeah.
Hello and how do, true buckaroos. And welcome back to another edition of the Chuck Tingle Book Club, brought to you by the fine reprobates at Pot Topic Podcast. As ever on this show, we plumb the depths of the immortal science of love as through the lens of one wonderful Chuck Tingle. A little later on, I will be doing a deep dive and kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of the text and exploring about what maybe the author was getting at. But before that, we have a Tomnopsis from Tom. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Taz. I'm the resident Chuckademic. Tom, take it away. This is already a dumpster fire.
And I'm Tom, the one who forgot to pump the intro music back to Taryn so he knew when to start talking. Love is in the air and the rear this week as we cover the Chuck Tingler, pounded in the butt by the sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day. Very festive. I've got my gay fingers.
Oh, very nice.
It's like my gay fingers. Nice. So a quick Tomnopsis, then, he says, trying to manically open the window. Always alone come the fateful 14th of Feb, Greaves decides to take the offensive against old St. Val this year. Eliminate it from his life completely. He's torn down all the decoration in his office cubicle that magically appeared overnight thanks to the management. But there is one solitary heart hanging in the communal area that's directly in his eye line, distracting him, frustrating him, winding him up. After his colleague and friend...
He's a rational dude. He's a rational dude, is our Greaves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm actually quite impressed with how resolute he is at this. After his colleague and friend Hampton reveals he can't hang because he has plans, our protagonist marches over to the heart and systematically tears it down until it's nothing more than a dozen pieces of crumpled tissue paper on the floor. Greaves spots his next festive victim, a bowl of candy hearts. Before he can reach the trash can with them, his boss bellows out,
"Not the candy.
Greaves!"
Please, somebody think of the candy.
Especially coming up to Halloween, timely Valentine's Day book here.
Since goth Valentine's.
Well, I suppose I see my girlfriend in fishnets a lot more. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, this is a time of romance for the more spoopily inclined.
Absolutely. Get your witchy dick on.
And a time for war who believe autumn's about pumpkin spice. Oh, the reckoning's coming, you fuckers.
Don't get me started.
Sorry, carry on.
It's at this point Greaves realises the entire office is staring at him, except Hampton, who's shaking his head in empathetic sadness, which I loved that phrase. It perfectly rings out as... It's like you can just see it. I love that. In a standoff that resembles a confectionery-themed police negotiation, Greaves stands with all the power over the bowl of candy and his boss tries to talk him down. Needless to say, Greaves is resolute on his righteous war on V-Day, 180s the bowl and fucks it into the bin. Needless to say, again, he's immediately fired. Hampton helped...
I think we might have used the same phraseology there.
Oh, really? Fucks it into the bin.
You fucked it into the bin.
Of course we did. That's what we say all the time. Hampton helps Greaves clear his desk and escorts him downstairs via the elevator. In true Chuck Tingle style, you read the line in this book, "I'm not gay, but..." So this can be duly noted as the most handsome, swirling manifestation of pink hearts, pink and red love hearts, love notes, and poetic phrases joins them in a lift. Rough day. The physical manifestation of Valentine's Day asks before introducing himself as Leap Valentine, accepting some of the blame and admitting to having mixed feelings about himself as well. Greaves reveals his anger against the day. Leap understands that many people hate him, but then again, many people like him. With that, Greaves feels a little bit bad and starts to see the error of his ways. What right does he have to shit all over everyone else's joy? Leap pulls a love note from his own being and gives it to Greaves. It's inviting him to a pizza place downtown at 7 p.m. tonight. But from whom? Fast forward to 7:40.
Well, Leap.
Gone.
All that Leap says about it is he just says, "I think there's someone that you should get to know," or someone who would like. Yeah, I think it's someone you should get to know, which is choice phraseology.
Exactly.
Choice phrasing, rather. Yeah.
We'll soon see why. Fast forward to 7:45, and Greaves is now pissed. Determined not to let the no good, no show of a date. Please note the double meaning when I say date. But I'm very clever at writing these things, perhaps.
Yeah.
Is that?
I got it. I'm there with you, man.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Greaves orders a fat slice and tucks into it, and he starts to calm down while watching a couple watching, making up stories about them and actually laughing to himself. Once the pizza's done, Greaves sees the cinema across the street is showing the Scorsese remake of Space Raptor Butt Invasion. Fucking, hang on, it's on this hoodie somewhere. It's on there somewhere. It's pounded by the pound there. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favourite gags so far in any Tingler. That's amazing.
Scorsese remake.
Because I want it, man.
Hell yeah. Oh, just the idea of this raptor with cotton wool in his cheeks. You come in my butt on the day of my daughter's wedding. Anywho. Yeah. So he sees the film on the it's showing at the cinema and says, why not? After the obviously fantastic film, Greaves heads out into the now more empty streets and thinks about how couples visiting the pleasure zone are right about now, if you will, back at home under the sheets. And it doesn't even seem to bother him anymore. At that moment, he spots the familiar visage of Valentine's Day. Greaves jovially tells Leap, your date was a bust, they never showed. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day continues with a wry smile. Or did they? Greaves worried that he may have just left some bloke hanging out or someone hanging back at the restaurant. Is told, your date got there right when you did. They had a great time tonight too. Your date was you. Leap explains that Valentine's Day is not just about loving someone else, but all forms of romantic love. And Greaves gets it. Now, this is the point in the story where we're obviously going to visit the pleasure zone, right? But this is where shit gets either the most smooth pickup ever or possibly the most crude worst pickup ever.
Oh, there's a it's a bit of a weird moment, isn't it?
It's that kind of.
Are you talking about the So
I'm just going to read it verbatim. I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
So what now? I should just go home and jerk off? There's nothing wrong with that. Masturbation is a healthy part of sexuality. Fair enough. What are you doing for the rest of the evening? Heading back to your place, apparently. Is
it presumption? Is it insinuation, or is it just that Leap Valentine being the manifestation of Valentine's Day? It's just like
a Lothario, a seasoned lover. Yeah.
Let's pound this out, brother.
So yeah, as soon as they get across the threshold of Greaves' apartment, shit is on like Donkey Kong, and we barrel. Get my pun? Into the pleasure zone.
Headlong. Yeah.
To the pleasure zone, baby.
Barrage of frantic kisses while tossing away clothes. Greaves gets to his knees. Demand for the day cock. The cock is revealed as a beautiful tower of sex. Now that's a dick. Also, at this point, I can't help but hearing Devil Driver in my head. Just as I see Greaves in my mind's eye wanking off a day, just go, wank off the day. Instead of hold back the day. Sorry. Anyway. Ball cradle. Blowjob. Faster, faster, then switch gears, stunning deep throat. Greaves commands leap for an ass fuck. Commands him for an ass fuck. Screaming and begging while the day teases his rim, then started yell, punctuates a plunge. Big cock, very big cock. Big boy slows down, first hint of shimmering prostate orgasm. Greaves jerks it while he feels the feeling grows into a potent orgasmic cocktail. Great phrase. Harder, harder, blat. Do it. Do it. Blow that hot Valentine's Day load all over me. Equals facial. The fucking cum is first chocolate syrup and then fucking whipped cream.
Yeah, it was a nice touch, that.
At that point, I'm going, he hadn't jumped the shark before that point. Spoilers for the scoring later on, got a little bit of a chub on, whatever, that's fine. It's a hot sex scene. But then I hear Devil Driver in my head, wank off the day. And then fucking chocolate syrup and whipped cream come into the equation. I'm all over the shop. Anyway, that was incredible, Greaves says. You were incredible, Valentine's Day offers, and you're incredible with or without me. There's nothing like a good pounding, but self-love is great sometimes too. There's nothing more attractive than someone who has a healthy relationship with themselves. Happy Valentine's Day.
Cool. Yeah, no, thanks for that. It's a fun one. It is, and I enjoyed I enjoyed kind of really into it a bit, so I shall read to you now what that is. So here we go. Pounded in the butt by the sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day, an analysis. I love. I do. I love being in love. I love being loved. I love seeing other people being lovely to each other. And I especially love how subversive love is, in that the more love you give, the more love you have, which runs counter to just about every principle and ideology civilization has been built upon. Love is rad as fuck, man. It might surprise you to learn, then, that I do not love St. Valentine's Day. I do not observe the day to such an extent that I barely even notice it happening around me anymore. All but the most egregious displays of commercialized heart idolatry kinda just slip me by these days. I have, in effect, achieved what today's Chucktagonist sets out to do. But that's besides the point. The reason I do not observe the feast of St. Valentine, to give it its proper name, is because I am not a Christian. And as not a Christian, the idea of celebrating the death of one of their saints just seems a bit weird. Similarly, I don't observe Easter, and I wouldn't celebrate Christmas if only I was given the bloody chance to not observe Christmas. Mm-hmm. But that one's a bit more tricky when an entire season is dedicated to the fucking day. Anyway, my personal takes aside, there are plenty of legitimate criticisms of Valentine's Day, and any one of them provides more than enough justification to denounce the day. 1, it puts unnecessary pressure on people to have someone to share the day with. 2, it puts unnecessary pressure on celebrants to do something special for the day. 3, commercial forces both amplify and harness that pressure to shift flowers, chocolates, set meals, etc., and in doing so work to homogenize notions of romance and expressions of affection. 4, the codification of romantic ideals, which happens in part through Valentine's Day, completely undermines the glorious uniqueness inherent to each relationship. 5. It's produced the environment for reactionary types to create anti-Valentine's Day rituals, which, under any ontological analysis you care to apply to it, is still doing the same fucking thing as that which is supposed to be a reaction against. And, well, okay, all right. That last one is less a valid criticism as it is a personal philosophical gripe. But, 6. And perhaps more importantly than anything else I've said so far, as a celebration of romantic love, Valentine's Day, by its very nature, excludes those who do not have romantic love to enjoy. Even worse than that, it can serve to highlight this lack to such individuals and make their relationship status a source of anxiety and sadness. And that is about as far away from proving love as you can get.
True.
So, why is Chuck writing about it as though it's a good thing? Just what the Chuck is going on here? Well,
why did we not call this What the Chuck?
Yeah, right? I can't believe it took me that long to make that joke. Well, to find out exactly what the Chuck is going on here, we're just going to have to do the science.
Props. I've got
Yes,
prop
I got
now.
the glasses back, baby.
I'm so happy I've got a prop.
And my lab coat of love. Cool. Any thoughts so far, Tom?
I had a feeling you were going to bring up the fact that you don't observe Valentine's Day. And I'm very happy you did, because that's very open and honest and truthful, as we always are on this show. So I'm glad you brought it up. I want to see where you go with this.
Well, okay, here we go. Part 1. The holiday comes to Greaves. The Chucktagonist of Pounded in the Butt by the Sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day is a fellow by the name of Greaves, and it would be fair to say that he is not a fan of the season. He's not opposed to relationships, and he understands that this celebration of love and sex is ultimately a good thing. But he wants absolutely no part of it nonetheless. Our story starts with him explaining that he's trying to eliminate the holiday from his experience because he never gets to experience it with another person. It's not that he hasn't had serious relationships, it's that they always seem to end just weeks before Valentine's Day. As we know, this aversion to the holiday manifests in a couple of ways. There's a removal of decorations from around his personal cubicle at work, the clapping of hands to ears to avoid hearing the word Valentine, and the tearing up of a giant heart in the office common area. But the most dramatic and telling moment comes after the very public giant heart rending, when Greaves sets his sights on trashing a bowl of heart-shaped candies, only to be confronted by his boss. The boss's ultimatum is clear. Greaves can stop wrecking Valentine's Day, or he can lose his job. There are two sides of my brain furiously battling out within. I obviously don't want to lose my job, and disobeying my boss in such a brazen display would likely result in exactly that. On the other hand, I've committed to skipping Valentine's Day this year, and I can't just let this bowl of candies go unscathed. So, on the one hand, Greaves is aware and rational enough to know that he can't expect everyone to come along on this crazy holiday deletion with me. And yet, almost within the same breath, he can act completely contrary to that thought. He will even do this to his own long-term detriment, as we see when he trades his job for the immediate satisfaction of binning them candies. To be very clear, Greaves' perceived exclusion and growing distaste for Valentine's Day has escalated to the point where he nukes the very means by which he supports himself. The dude has reached a crisis point. Now, this might seem a little extreme, especially for a Tingler, but as ever with Chuck, it's not too far from the mark. Valentine's Day does seem to be a time for crises. Speaking to City on a Hill Press, Diane Bryce, director of the Suicide Prevention Service of the Central Coast, points out that contrary to popular belief, the winter holidays aren't the worst time of year for suicide. People actually tend to make more of an effort to reach out around Thanksgiving and Christmas, while New Year's tends to come with hopes for a new start. She does go on to say, though, And then February comes, and you're supposed to be in love, and you're supposed to be feeling better because it's springtime, but some people don't. That's when it gets really difficult for people, because of the expectation to feel better. Because of this, Valentine's Day tends to mark the beginning of a crisis cycle, which generally increases in intensity until April, when suicides spike nationally. Similarly, Valentine's Day marks the start of a crisis for Greaves. He's alone and now jobless, rock bottom, the absolute nadir of self-worth. So, what better time to bump into the sentient physical manifestation of the very thing he just lost his job over? Enter Leap Valentine, the swirling vortex of hearts, notes, and poems. We'll be touching on their conversation they have a little later, but for now, all that matters is that Leap provides Greaves with an opportunity. There's someone I think you'd really enjoy getting to know today, he says. This someone is, it turns out, Greaves himself. The whole thing is a setup to get Greaves spending some quality time alone, and it works splendidly. Once Greaves gets bored waiting for his date, he basically has a date night by himself. He grabs a slice of Tsar and gets to watching people with rapt attention as the couples continue to flow by. I begin to make up stories for them, imagining where they're from and how they arrived here in this exact moment. Some of the stories are so good I actually start to crack myself up, laughing like a maniac while I continue to scarf down the best pizza of my life. This is followed up with a visit to the cinema to watch the Scorsese remake of Space Raptor Butt Invasion, which, Scorsese, I know you're watching, Dal. Make this film. I would watch this film. Heck, everyone would watch this film. This could be what this torrid, broken world of ours needs to start healing. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, here we go. Greaves has this lovely night romancing himself, after which he bumps into Leap again, and here we get the philosophical drive of the Tingle spelled out for us. Once I stopped focusing on trying to satisfy myself with the company of others, I realized just how fulfilling self-love can be. Though this message of self-love might be the philosophical drive of pounded in the butt by the sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day, it is but a vehicle. What it's driving is something much more interesting indeed. Any thoughts so far, fam?
I'm not entirely sure where you're going to take this now. I thought we were going down a very self-helpy kind of path, but it seems like we're going to take a divergence from there now.
Yeah, maybe. Cool, excellent. Sweet, well, let's get on with it then with part 2, reframing the narrative. Oh, sorry, I think I've nudged my gain there. So far, we have covered Greaves almost exclusively, but this Tingler is about more than a guy in a self-esteem crisis learning to love himself. It's also about the challenges that Valentine's Day as a concept faces. In Greaves, we merely find a distillation of one of these challenges. He is very much a Valentine Scrooge. He gets the goodness in celebrating love and romance. The problem, however, is that not all of us find ourselves with partners to celebrate with. That is a pretty solid criticism. It's reason enough to make anyone without a partner dislike the day. And more than that, for anyone in a relationship, all they need is a shred of social awareness and baseline human empathy to recognize that this day could very easily suck beans for singletons and rile against that in solidarity. But with 2 T's, but we are talking about a celebration of love here. So there's always going to be something about it that people will find inherently attractive. Which is why, when Greaves sees Leap for the first time, he tells us, "I'm not gay, but stepping onto the elevator is one of the most handsome men that I've ever seen in my life." So it's there already. Despite his exclusion from the celebrations, Greaves is as attracted to the concept of Valentine's Day as anyone else. Read from the perspective of Leap then, Greaves isn't just a guy who needs to learn to love himself. He's also a stand-in for anyone who's excluded from Valentine's Day, including any such person who happens to be reading this book. This changes the nature of the elevator conversation between Leap and Greaves. When they first run into each other, Greaves isn't shy about implying that he doesn't do well with Valentine's Day, and Leap outright apologizes for it. Like, the dude sees this unhappy guy complaining about V-Day while exiting a workplace with a box of his personal effects, and Leap straight up calls himself out on being partly responsible. He could have let that shit slide, but he didn't. More than that, he displays utter self-awareness when he tells Greaves that people have mixed feelings about me, and that he knows that it's hard for some folks to be single today. Rather fairly, especially considering the details surrounding his newfound unemployment, this prompts Greaves to challenge Leap on why he doesn't just go away. And there, dear buckaroos, the trap is sprung. Because some people like Valentine's Day, he tells me. His response is so pointed and evident that it actually makes me reel slightly, my brain struggling to accept something so completely transparent. Just because I hate Valentine's Day doesn't mean that I could rain on anyone else's. This is some PR goddamn jiggery fuckery if ever I saw it. Firstly, Leap only talks about Valentine's Day in relation to how people feel about it. People have mixed feelings about me. It's hard for some folks. Some people like Valentine's Day. And then there's the piece de resistance. This comes when Greaves explains it's hard seeing couples on Valentine's Day, and Leap retorts, I'm not saying it's easy, but it is what it is. So, firstly, the language helps to reframe Valentine's Day as something that people simply have feelings about, and not, for instance, something that is in any way open to value judgments. Then, with that last, it is what it is phrase, Leap instills the implication in both Greaves and any like-minded readers that this is all inevitable and unchangeable. So get involved or get out of the way. Now, if this was all that Leap was interested in doing, I might start looking at him as something of a villain. But there's another step, you see, another aim. Leap isn't merely looking to effect some public image damage control for Valentine's Day. He's attempting to do something much more profound and wholesome. And so, to this end, Leap tricks Greaves into taking himself out on a date. We've already discussed how for Greaves, this self-date of dinner, people watching a movie is an exercise in romancing himself and developing some self-love. For Leap, it's not. This is an initiation. He's already gotten Greaves to accept Valentine's Day as it is. Now it's time to bring him into the fold. And by the time the self-date is ending, it has worked a charm. As Greaves tells us, by now, most of the couples that once crowded this part of town have all gone home, probably going at it between the sheets at this very moment. For some reason, this no longer bothers me. By getting Greaves to romance himself, Leap paves the way for the dissolution of Greaves' anxieties about being single, which, as we know, is the source of Greaves' Valentine's animosity. Now, he's ready. Greaves has heard the gospel. He's done the ritual. All that remains is the final act of consummation. When Greaves finally embraces Valentine's Day, he literally embraces Valentine's Day. He takes it into him, mind, body, and soul, and in doing so, ecstatically reaps the sweet, sticky sacraments. The first ejection is delicious chocolate syrup jig-jacking across my lips as I erupt with excited laughter. The next blast transforms into a stream of milky whipped cream. Soon enough, I am completely covered in Valentine's Day tasty and romantic jizz.
I forgot how it was worded.
Okay. Now, you any closer to what the conclusion is I'm driving at? Because those two chapters don't necessarily,
Okay, so right, let's take it back a bit. So I like the way that, you've kind of made the same assumption that I did, where I'm not gay but could easily be replaced with I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but you find it attractive. Yeah. You see the beauty in it for other people. But then you followed it up with the phrase, it is what it, or Leap follows up with the phrase, it is what it is, which is one of those phrases that when I hear it in like workplace, I immediately know that person's a lazy cunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes no work whatsoever, which is also how I observe Valentine's Day, because I observe Valentine's Day because I can't be bothered to deal with fallout if the other person wants it. It's pure laziness. But that means that also that's just Leap indoctrinating Valentine's Day the same way that I've been indoctrinated into it. Not a willing participant at all. So yeah, Leap is a villain cult leader. That's where I think you're going with this.
Well, no, not quite. I kind of start. It seems like it's going that way, doesn't it? But that is, I don't think that's what this Tingle is. So I'll now stitch together the two disparate parts in something that is traditionally called the conclusion.
Now he gets out his new prop, which is the narrative sewing machine. Let's go.
Cool. So we're 2,500 words in right now, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that pounded in the butt by the sentient villain. I should take a breath before I do that sentence. We're 2,500 words in right now, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that pounded in the butt by the sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day is pretty upfront about its messaging. The spirit of Valentine's Day isn't just about loving someone else, it's about romantic love in all its forms. Sometimes it's easy to forget how important it is to love yourself. Greaves' entire arc is a demonstration of the pitfalls and benefits of the lack and development of self-esteem, self-love, if you will. He starts with hating to see happy couples on Valentine's Day and acts irrationally enough to lose his job over it. By the end, he's happy enough with his own damn self that the couples don't bother him and he gets a sticky load of Valentine's love all over his chest and lips. The love yourself part of the message is so front and center that it's easy to focus on that alone, but to do so misses the subtle act of substitution that's going on here. To most people, Valentine's Day is just about loving and being loved by someone else, because that's what they believe romance to be. To this common assumption, Chuck says nay. The real philosophical payload of this Tingler is that the spirit of Valentine's Day isn't just about loving someone else. It's about romantic love in all its forms. The good doctor doesn't just want to tell us this little nugget of wisdom, though. It's important for him to show the reader how it's done. And to this end, Greaves goes out on a date with himself, providing us with a demonstration of how to romance oneself. And this really does seem to be as simple as doing what it is you enjoy. For Greaves, it's dinner, movie, and improv storytelling. For me, it's a couple of hours of Red Shoe video essays followed by whiskey and dildos. For you, well, it's whatever you enjoy, whatever makes you feel good, enjoyed by yourself. In the intro, I questioned how Valentine's Day, a holiday that almost mockingly excludes those without romantic love, could possibly prove love is real. We saw the damage that this can cause with the first part of Greaves' story. We also discussed how this is backed up in real life by suicide hotlines, which marks Valentine's as the start of a crisis season. We also saw the embodiment of Valentine's Day work to defend its position in two ways. The first is the straightforward logic of, people like Valentine's Day. The second is to suggest that we should celebrate romantic love in all its forms.
There's a third way, sorry, quick.
The blatant... Yeah, go.
The third way is that you could easily top on ice cream with his jizz.
Oh, yes. Straight from sex straight to ice cream. That'd be awesome. Cool. But... Sorry. So, this is the bait and switch that's happening here. This is the trick that's being played. If you've got a celebration of love that excludes those without romantic relationships, then the only way to make it inclusive of everyone is to reframe the idea of romance itself. No longer need romance exist as something solely with and enjoying whomsoever is in your company. Oh, sorry. If no longer need, I've just skipped a line there. No longer need romance exist as something solely shared between two people. If all that romance amounts to is the act of focusing upon, being cute with, and enjoying whomsoever is in your company, then that act can extend to keeping company with another, some others, or even just yourself. If you reframe what romance is, you also reframe what Valentine's Day does. It goes from an exclusion-creating celebration of monogamistic love to an inclusive celebration for everyone who's ready to celebrate love and engage in romance regardless of the company they keep on the day. And that, mother buckers, is how you take a kind of problematic holiday and make it prove that love is real.
Love is real. That was so close to being perfectly timed with a bark, and I just had to start out for another 10 seconds. That was so annoying. Anyway. Right. Well, there's only one thing for it. We've got to find out how our metallic...
I think we're done.
I know, we need to find out what our metallic friend thinks about Valentine's Day.
No, I'm pretty sure that at this point we're done. We're done. It's cool. Show's over. Bye. See you next week.
Finally.
Oh, fucking...
Finally, that fucker's gone. Maybe I can be the proper second host for once. Moving up a peg.
How's it going, Maggie? How you living, girl?
Well, since the 14th of February, I've been celebrating Valentine's Day by fucking every appliance in my warehouse, where do I
Every
live?
plant.
Every appliance.
Oh, every appliance. Ah, man. Yeah, no, it's cool. You got to get in some of that two-pin action, you know?
I mean, there's nothing like feeling a washing machine just going, fucking rinsing the shit out of your giant bell end. Then finish it off with a tumble dryer.
I bet, Maggie. I bet. Anyway, what are we here for?
Anyway. Greetings, horny human. I am Tingle Troll 4000. Book review score bot. All scores are final. Right, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go finish my load and I'm going to go fuck an ice cream machine. that hot chocolate syrup and whipped cream has really turned me on. All right, nice one. Bye.
See you around.
Sorry, I lost the button. There we go. Anyway, so this is the point where we apply scores to the book. We break it down into 5 bits to give us a final overall score of 4 score. So we're going to be looking at the tingle as a cover art, getting to the tingle as a pacing, giving you the tingle that's a sexiness, saving you some tingle as a recommendation value, and the tingle tilt, the final reviewers tilt, if we like it or not. Those are all scored out of 5. It gives us a score out of 10, and it's to 2 decimal places. So, looking at the tingle. Let me just alt tab back in. That's, I mean...
Cover, Greaves is a pretty boy.
Absolutely. Can't really say the same for Leap.
Yeah, he's...
You know?
Leap looks like he comes from a tradition of... hundreds and hundreds of years of prominence and privilege. He fits.
Are you just pointing out the fact he's white?
Well, it's the smugness in the smile as well. I think.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he works. He's not. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the classic red love heart thing anyway, so he's never going to be exactly for me. But Greaves, baby,
hell yeah,
yeah.
And also, it does look.
How's it going?
How's it going? Sorry, a bit of baby spider there. And it does seem that he either has the word trust or lust tattooed above his pelvis region. So either way.
Oh man, could you imagine like just being there at the end after those two have finished boning? You just turn up with some churros and just scooping like whipped cream out of his cum gutters.
And now I have a kink. Yeah, I've recently fallen into churro talk. It's an unfortunate side of TikTok that I can't seem to get out of. Yeah, so
Oh, really?
no, I'm joking. There does seem to be a side of TikTok for literally any kind of fetish. It's ridiculous.
There really does.
Okay,
I
anyway.
mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, other than Greaves himself in this, there's not much for me here.
Yeah.
The background is kind of a
Yeah,
you know,
plain boring.
Greaves is pretty enough to make this otherwise bad cover, a solid average. So I'm going to give it 2.5.
Okay, I'm gonna score it quite similarly, I believe, because just for the exact same reason. So 2.75.
Yeah, cool.
Divided by 2, so that's 2.66 out of 5. Right, getting to. So
that feels scientifically accurate to me.
it's a very
feels good.
average. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna go 1.75. I'm not happy with it. So that takes it to 2.16. Sorry, I know I shouldn't let bias get in here when we're talking science and maths, but I'll have to do it. Right, so Tingle.
Well,
Get into the Tingle. Get into the Tingle. Pacing.
Get into the Tingle is pacing. Solid. Absolutely solid. Nice, clear 3-act structure. One kind of leads to the other. Nothing outstays its welcome. Just when the stuff at the office feels like it's dragging on a bit, it's moved on to the elevator scene, and then that's quite short, and then we're moved into the date, which is like that's kind of the most fun for me. And and then it doesn't take long before we're boning down. It's solid pacing.
And I feel like each of the acts is kind of broken up into 2 parts as well. So you have like wanton destruction, not Mexican police negotiation standoff, into introduction of the second titular character, I guess. And then you have
then you have the date with no show to the date with self, and then you've got the meeting of leap to the beating the
beating of the meat.
The meeting of leap to the meeting of leap.
Wank back the day. Right, anyway, so then you have all that stuff. So absolutely fucking solid. And it in each of those sort of semi acts, you have like a joke or a wry observance or something that's just like quite clever. Right, cool. I'm gonna go really high.
Carries you along nicely.
I'm gonna go with 4.231.
I was thinking 4.2 somewhere as well. Is it 3 decimal places?
It is 3. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot earlier.
4.2
13. Absolutely right. We're going to do this gag, are we, all the time? So that's a 4.222 out of 5. I think that's fair. Right.
No, that's a solid score.
Giving the Tingle, so it's the sexiness. Now, trying to remember back because it's been literally 3 months since we've done a fucking book club. But this is sort of the way I always score this is 1 is not sexy at all. 2 is it's quite mentally interesting, I guess. 3 is I got a chub on. 4 is I'm rock solid, and 5 I need to go have a wank. So
yes,
I'm in the 3 area because at the start it's quite all right.
I think 3 is fair, but it's going to be a low 3 for me. 3.010, I think. It was the love scene was enough to stir or start stirring a reaction without really kind of causing any follow through.
Yeah, I mean it. If you will,
How do we turn this section into just going onto the internet and talking about our dicks, Tom? How have we made this happen? Anyway, our dicks.
I mean,
carry on.
I mean, if there's one thing we always do, and that's seizing the day, much like
Yes.
Greaves did in his. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3.101 out of 5. So
Cool.
that is a 3.0555 out of 5. I'm starting to think we only went to 2 decimal places before, and the 3 decimal places is when. No, there's definitely 4 decimal places below.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
worry.
that feels familiar.
3
Okay,
months.
what's up next, man?
Saving you some tingle, so that's recommendation value. So I think this one for me has quite a high recommendation value. I think this may be another high scoring point because it does exactly what Tingle is known for, and it does it well. It's just the subject matter might not be that interesting. I don't know.
I mean, this is like solid. This is classic distilled Tingle. This is, the story is solid. It paces you through. It's entertaining throughout, and it kind of stealths in this kind of important message. This is up there. I think, I don't know, like maybe if I might recommend it to someone who's read like a couple because they thought, oh, this will be really funny, and found something a bit more interesting in it. Go, oh, okay, cool. This is maybe have a look at this one next. So yeah, maybe 4.2, 4.207, I think, from me.
Yeah, I think that I'd rank this in one of the top 3 books that I'd recommend someone. I would always recommended like Pounded by the Pound as my favourite, like top of the range. This is fucking Tingle. Just because it goes so off the rails and bizarre. Which this one doesn't, apart from the whipped cream incident of 2021, we're going to call it.
Sure.
So I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 4.702 out of 5. Yay,
Awesome.
It's the Taz and Tom Laugh at Numbers show. So that is, interestingly,
cool.
4.4545 out of 5.
4.4545 so
Out of
far.
5, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So, we have a not too shabby looking score so far, but we have the reviewer's tilt to do, the Tingle tilt. How much we like it.
Sure. 3.750 for me. Just straight. Yeah, it's more than good, but for me it's not like it's not one of the most amazing ones for me. So I don't feel the need to push it too much harder than that.
Yeah, I think similarly, I don't want to give it too much of a push because, again, it's Valentine's Day, and Tingle did do a clever thing with it. I just immediately have disdain for anything Valentine's Day related, as you do.
Yeah,
so
nice. Fair enough.
So I'm going to go 3.057 out of 5. But, that gives it a reasonable score. Sorry, I probably shouldn't do that. The microphone attached to the desk of 6.9182 out of 10.
Okay.
So let's see where that go leads us. He does quickly trying to...
Yeah, while you figure that out, I just need to go grab a thing because I am not professional.
Right, so that leaves it... I should really number these columns as well. Where the fuck is it?
Okay.
It is -6. So that leaves it at 15th in our list of
Ooh, 50.
of 25.
How many have we done now?
I think we've done 25.
Okay, yeah,
So, middle of the pack.
that doesn't feel.
It is
out of place.
directly above our second scoring, which was the one we got on video, of slammed by the substantial amount of press generated by my book.
Yeah, pounded by the pound. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had to redo that one because I lost the video or something. And then directly behind, seduced by the handsome, physically manifested sound that some people hear as Yanning and other people hear as Laurel. Which I feel is good bedfellows. That's good bedfellows right there.
Yep. Yeah, not bad, not bad. The science continues to work, Tom, absolutely flawlessly. There's there's absolutely no question of its scientific veracity.
Fuck off, it works.
Yeah. Oh. All right, cool. Well, in that case, then, with the scores done and you guys a little wiser on the topic of pounded in the butt by the a little wiser on the topic of pounded in the butt by the sentient physical manifestation of Valentine's Day by Chuck Tingle, two-time Hugo Award nominated. It's time to talk about what our next book is going to be.
I've just remembered I was going to bring this up in the when we were talking about the value of the last book, because this one given away is the freebie if you buy the ebook. It's just I'm so into it.
Have you read it?
No, I'm so into the title. I've been trying my best not to read it,
man. So, like, your choices are: you can either, if you want to read along with us and kind of know exactly what we're talking about as we talk about it, you can either buy "Pounded in the Butt" by the Sentient Physical Manifestation of Valentine's Day and read the bonus Tinkerer, or you can seek this out by itself. And the next title will be "Living Inside My Own Butt for 8 Years, Starting a Business and Turning a Profit Through Common Sense Reinvestment and Strategic Targeted Marketing."
Let's go! Come on! Tingle.
Jesus, I have no idea what this is going to be.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is a weird one. But hey, we'll get back to you with it at some time. Tom, do you want to do the readout for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh God, I've got a train journey ahead of me in a minute. I'm reading this instantly. So yeah, we are the guys from Pot Topic Podcast. You go to pottopicpodcast.com to listen to our normal everyday podcast, which we need to organise a recording for soon. And and you can also find all the book club videos, links, and social medias and all that kind of bollocks. They're right there. Yeah. That's about it, really.
Cool. Well, sweet. So all that really remains to say is, once again, the book we'll be reading next time is Living Inside My Own Butt for 8 Years, Starting a Business and Turning a Profit Through Common Sense, Reinvestment and Strategic Targeted Marketing.
I found space wrapped to butt invasion.
Hey, there it is. But until that day, whatever your trots, whatever your way, just go forth into the timelines and prove love is real.
Love is real. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Also, as soon as I made the Scorsese joke, I realised he didn't make good Godfather, but bye.